Hey guys, welcome to the live stream. We're about to get started. Today we're going to be talking about how many LiPo batteries should you have and how many should you go fly per session each time you go out and fly. That's a topic that we all kind of struggle with, I think. And so I made this poll in order for us all to discuss it and figure out what everybody else is doing, what we should be doing, what you should be doing, because we want to be able to maximize our flight time. Get as much time in the hobby as possible. And one of the greatest limiting factors is how many lipos you have for your quad, how many packs you can actually fly. Nothing sends you home faster than a horrendous catastrophic crash or simply running out of packs. And I know that a lot of us only start off with 2 or 3 lipos at a time. So how do you know when it's time to take that step to upgrade, to get some sort of field charging solution, or to simply buy more batteries? What do you guys think? Can you guys hear me okay in the chat? RC Ritter is here. Say your boy Neil's got me. Yes, he hit me up after that. Yes. Okay, I see you got that shocker going. Ooh, the 2208. Very nice. Mike Bergman's here. Yeah, looking thin. Thanks, Mike, for noticing. I've been on keto diets. My wife and I have been doing that during the quarantine. So I'm down about 45 pounds. You can't really tell too much because I haven't really been shaving either. But yeah, it's crazy. I've been trying all kinds of exercise the last few years. Of course, ever since I got more into the hobby of FPV, you tend to exercise a little bit less because you spend all your time in the goggles or on the bench fixing things. So yeah, the aspect ratio looks a little pinched. It does, right? Does it look? Is it just my face or is it squished somehow? Oh, I know what it is. I changed my camera setting. Let me fix that. Let me fix that. Okay, I'm still here, guys. I'm changing my camera settings. I forgot as a test. I was trying out. Oh my gosh, where is that setting? I messed up my frame rate, and I think that's what's doing it. Oh my gosh, where's the video? I'll be right back. Oh no, that actually looks okay. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back. I can't tell. Like, is it squished? Is it squished, or did I just lose weight? Let me see. Oh yeah, it is. It does look squished. Why is it squished? This doesn't look right, does it? This is a Tattoo 1400. Does this look thin? Can't tell. I don't know, man. What's going on with this? Okay, so maybe that losing weight is not that impressive. It's just my camera angle is somehow squishing me. I don't know. This is the same setup I used last week, but we really need to know what is going on. Mike says he has too many lipos. He carries around a 22,000 luminaire for field charging and never really needs that amount. Rick says he's been gradually going through Li-ion batteries because you can fly longer on them. Yes, if you're cruising, for sure. Maybe it's, I don't know what in the world is going on with this. I'm using StreamYard, so who knows what's going on. Let me remove this and add the camera back in. Okay, here we go. Is that better? No, it's still squished. Oh well. We're going to talk about the poll, guys. The poll is what we did. Good job on all of you guys. Over 360 people responded to this week's poll to figure out what the right amount of packs are, what you guys are flying, and let's comment on everything that everyone else is doing to figure out where you are in the road. If you're field charging or using generators or charging off of your car battery, leave me a comment in the chat below. I want to know if you guys are field charging. But let's go over the poll itself. 360 guys said, and the question in the poll was, how many packs do you fly per session? So the categories were 1 to 3, which 15% of you guys landed there. 4 to 6, 41% of you guys are there. The vast majority of people are in that 4 to 6 pack range. 7 to 10 is where you're a motherfucking drone pilot right there. 30% of you guys, the other large percentage was right there in the 7 to 10 pack range. 11 to 20, which was like, hey, it's cheaper than some of your really bad habits. 9% of you guys were there, and 21 or more packs in one session. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have 20 plus packs, but you do have some mechanism to recharge and keep flying. It's called a generator, son. Only 4% of you guys were there. Jeff, how is it going? So I brought with me, let's switch back to the other view. I brought with me this thing. This is my battery safe bag that I bring to the night spot when I go fly. I have a ton of batteries in here. And so what I usually do whenever I go fly is I typically bring probably 10 to 12 batteries. Now that is if guys, I'm going to a fun fly or an event where there will be charging available. In our town, the Houston crew now probably has 5 or 6 generators spread out through the community. So the majority of times when we do go fly, we are going to be having power available. And so I stopped bringing 12, 15 packs that would have to carry me through the whole day. And I now bring a little bit fewer packs and just charge them. That means that I typically have 4 to 6 good packs. Right now we're in a Lipo drought. My favorite pack right now is the Tattoo R-Line. This is the V3 1400. The V4 is now out. I have one on the way, but you can't really find stock. It's super frustrating. This is the best pack that money can buy. If you want to try one of these out, there's links in the description below where you can get them. But the Tattoo R-Line V3 or V4 is the best. Yarb says 10 packs for 5-inch, maybe 10-inch for 3 or 4-inch, and a small charger. I don't fly through mini packs, says Mike. I put the discharger through a good workout often, unfortunately. And that does happen, guys. That does happen. You sometimes go out to the field to fly. You don't get to fly all the packs. I try to keep as many packs charged, even when I do have a generator access available, because you never know if it's going to run out of gas. You want to be able to fly as much as possible. But this looks like a lot of packs, right? But I only have about 3 or 4 of these Tattoo V3. These are like what I would consider my racing packs or my best performance packs. So I typically cycle through these all day. Then I have some other packs. I have some large and in charge Pulse 1550s. These are some fat boys you can see right there. They're quite heavy, but they're actually pretty good packs. I built up a 7-inch and flew this on it quite well. For the micros, you can also use the 650 and 850 size. When I go flying micros, I don't typically bring as many packs. I feel like because with micros, 3-inch, 4-inch, and even the ultralight 5-inch, you can fly those in so many more places that I feel like you can just charge up 5 or 6 packs, go get a quick rip, and head back and not go all day. But when you do go all day, you need to have the packs, guys. So I really wanted to talk to you about this because when you invest in the hobby, when you get several quads built up, when you have your DJI goggles or your Orcas or your Fat Shark HDO2s, when you got the rapid fire module, when you got your Crossfire or your Ghost, when you got the Radio Master radio, you've now invested over $1,000. In fact, 2,000 can disappear at the blink of an eye. In this hobby, they can disappear so quickly. So when you've clearly invested in the technology, in the infrastructure of being able to fly, when you've invested the time to be able to learn how to do a power loop or a loop-de-loop or a Rubik's Cube or whatever the cool kids are doing these days, you have to invest in the packs. When you have all the gear assembled finally, the rarest of resource isn't bench time, it's flight time. And how do you get the maximum flight time? It's being able to stay out in the field, fly as long as possible with the packs that you have. So if you have everything, if you spend $1,000 or $2,000 or more, but you only have like 3 or 4 packs, you need to invest in some more packs, guys. Spend the $150 or $200 or $300, depending on what size you fly. Buy yourself 10 good packs and do that. At least replace half of them once a year. Because you're going to kill packs. I probably have a Lipo graveyard right now that I need to go take to like Lowe's or somewhere that's at least 12 to 15 6S packs deep. They die, they get destroyed, you smash them, and over time they just lose their charge. Have you ever noticed that same pack you used to be able to comfortably able to freestyle 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 minutes now barely lasts you 2 minutes? And as soon as you hit the throttle and punch it, it just sags all the way down. That's a sign that you might need to invest in some new Lipos, guys. Let's catch up with the comments right here. Jeff didn't get to the poll, but he mostly goes on 1S. 1S is nice. If you whoop or you built up one of those 1S toothpicks, I have a review on one of those coming up very soon. You can really fly for pretty cheap because the batteries are all generally like $6 or less. That is quite nice. Rick says on race days, he charges 2 chargers off an AC inverter off the truck, not have any problems. Yeah, that's a really nice solution if you don't want to invest in a generator. Just be careful not to charge your car battery or discharge it too low, or you might get stuck in the field. Of course, some people have figured out you can jump a car battery with a Lipo, but be careful with that too. You may end up killing that Lipo. Tinker field charges with 24 volts and he can recharge for days. Yes, Titan FPV is there. What's going on, man? One of our he does a lot of content on the Shark Bite system, which I'm not really covering much. So if you want to see more about the Shark Bite system, go check out Titan FPV's channel. South02 says it really depends on how many people are going to be flying. If it's just 2 or 3 people, even 8 to 10 might not be enough. I agree. If you don't have access to charging, I really like to have 12 to 15 to 18 packs. And so you don't necessarily have to have all of those packs be these big $40 6S packs. What I would do is have however many packs I could keep healthy in the traditional size. And then what I would do is I'll go ahead and just bring that 3-inch. Bring that 4-inch, bring that toothpick. When you run out of this size, switch to another size and just keep on going. Get that stick time, get that muscle memory solidified, because that's the best way that you get better. It's not by constantly recycling all your gear. It's not by constantly switching to the latest motor or the latest prop. The best way to get better in this hobby, the best way to keep your components safe, the best way to avoid crashing more is to fly better. And the only way to do that is more stick time. So the only way to get more stick time is to have more Lipos. Now, if you scoff at the $40 price tag of these Tattoo V3 and V4s, then the other option that you can have is to run something like this. This is the best value battery pack on the market. This is the China Hobbyline 1100 6S. This is a really quality pack. It's a fairly lightweight. and it is cheap. There's a link in the description below. They generally go out of stock very, very quickly, but these are only $19.99. That's right. You remember whenever a lot of people didn't want to switch to 6S because of the cost of the batteries, and they were not wrong. But now that this pack exists, you can comfortably fly 6S for 20 bucks a pop. They last pretty good. Are they as good as the Tattoo V4? No, but you can get two of them for the price of one of those tattoos. Now, if I was going to compete on race day, I might not use these, but for any other practice race day, for freestyle, I actually like the weight that these are. They're a little bit smaller than the Tattoo, as you can see. Now, China Hobby Lines are actually quite chunky, so it's not as much smaller than this Tattoo 1300 or actually 1400 as you might think, but it is a nice small size, and it's dirt cheap, guys. The secret to long life is to get as many lipos as you can get your hands on. So also pay attention to the FPV sales alerts. We always have the lipo sales going on there. Don't buy everything at regular price. Yes, if you break 10 bags in a session, you're gonna have to go buy some more. But even if you're comfortably, just buy a few packs. Set them away. Don't even open the box. Save them for a rainy day. You get them on sale. Then when you need another one, it's there. I got a little bit of a stash left, but these days lipos are hard to come by. Everybody wants the Tattoo V4s. Yes, they're expensive. Yes, they're worth it. Yes, I want to buy more. Yes, I would buy 10 right now if I could get my hands on them, but there's like no stock. Why can Tattoo not make more of these batteries? I don't know. But that's why at least there are some inexpensive options like the China Hobby Line, like this. There's also a new run of packs that they're making called Speedy Pizza Drones. I believe that's also related to China Hobby Line. Those are pretty inexpensive as well. I'm going to try the Tattoo Fun Fly 6S very, very soon. I got some of those on the way, so I'll be sure and report back if they are any good. Let's catch up on the comments real quick. Mike says that he hasn't forgotten about you. Jeff says, I do with the fractal engineering and flying Sando balance board. Okay. South says if you have 2 to 3 heats, then you can get away with maybe 5 or 6. Yeah, that's true. Mike's Bergman says he does storage charge his 1S. That's hard to do. I still haven't figured out a good way to do that. I think there is a 1S storage charge thingy, but I don't have one. Let's just see what else is going on. Papa is here. Heart of America is here. Hey, Shames is here. Save money and fly Freedom Spec. Yes, I'm glad you brought that to my attention. So if you haven't caught the Freedom Spec craze that's just sweeping the racing community, I made a race vlog on it the other day. Shames has had a lot of content. He's actually been helping to develop this whole spec. And what it is a spec weight, a spec motor to put everybody on the same playing field. And they're running 3S batteries on 6S quads. Now, what does that mean? That means slow, right? Yes, but that means that everybody can race a little bit smoother. But this could be a good technique for a lot of the rest of the community, even if you don't race. Papa, how's it going? And Tomoto is here as well. Now, Freedom Spec allows you to really master your quad because by lowering the power output so much, one, the weight is reduced significantly. You won't break anything if you crash. Two, the LiPo battery costs are ridiculously cheap. Now, when I say ridiculously cheap, I mean that the price has fallen on these Freedom Spec batteries. The True Freedom Spec, I think recommended, is only like $11 a piece. Now, you can get some premium Tattoo versions that is a 2300 3S battery that's still only $20 a piece. Are you getting why Freedom Spec is so attractive? So I think even if you fly Park Flyer, the recommended actual Freedom Spec motor is the heads up by 533 motor. I believe it's like a 1950 kV. So the kV is actually really high for a 6S, so that when you run it on 3S, you still have a decent amount of power. Racing against our fast guys in my community, even when I'm on a regular 6S pack, you can't necessarily think you're just going to still beat the guys flying the Freedom Spec if they're really fast on the sticks. So they still have enough speed to work with to make it around that course. A lot of times still faster than I can on a full-fledged 6S pack. So try it out. Let's see. Let's catch up on some more comments. Mike says he charges everything at 2C. What charge rate do you guys charge at? What do you charge your batteries at when you're in the field? Now, when I'm at home, I charge 1C or 2C. Now, my charging setup consists of dual HOTAs, dual HOTA Pros. So that means 4 charging lanes. Each HOTA Pro is 2 charging lanes. If you have dual HOTAs, you're basically like FPV charging God mode achieved. And I also have an ISDT Q6 from back in the day, so I can charge 5 packs at a time when I'm getting ready for going to race. It doesn't take me long to get 10 or 12 packs charged. Now, when I'm in the field, I generally charge 2C, and I can charge 2 at a time. I don't take all my charges with me. I only take 1 HOTA. And I just do it that way. Now, every once in a while, if the heats are small or the day's moving particularly fast, I might go up to like 2.5C, but I try not to like push my batteries much harder than that. If you charge 3C or more, let me know in the comments if you've ever lit a battery on fire like that. I also don't parallel charge. I own multiple parallel chargers, but I stopped doing that a long time ago. It's just not worth the risk. It's not worth charging a good battery with one battery that might be going bad that you don't realize, and all of a sudden you can kill multiple batteries if you just have one that has a bad cell in there and you're not paying attention, and then poof, instead of one dead battery, now you might have 4 or 5. So I don't do it. I just don't. Yarbs is here. 1C is the best for keeping batteries happy. Yes, that is true. I try to charge 1C if I'm not in a hurry. Sometimes I'll charge the night before. If I'm doing that, I'll definitely charge at 1C. Will it help prolong the battery life charging slow? I've heard that if you accidentally take a battery down really, really low, if you discharge it like below 3 volts per cell, the best way to safely bring it up to charging is charging at like 0.5 amp or something like that. I don't know if that's 100% true, but that's what I've always heard. I don't think it makes a whole difference charging at like a 0.5C or 1C. I think you're pretty safe charging at 1C. The guys that just charge at like 3 or 4C, those guys are crazy. It's probably some racers that do that. Let's see. BeepTube is here. He runs the Venom Duo Pro and a Toolkit M6D with a 180 watt power supply. That sounds pretty good. Vampire is here. Parallel charging takes too much thought. I agree, man. It's like the time I save in charging is like just thrown in the trash can by agonizing, making sure all the cells are within the right range. Yeah, just get yourself 2 HOTAs and boom, you'll be good to go. Titan's been doing 3C and as high as 5C. Only charge the good packs like that. Ooh, that's, yeah. I mean, even on the tattoos, I don't really do that high C. I think you can. If any of the Houston Night Spot crew are here, what do you guys charge at? I see you guys charging out there. I'm not always looking at everyone else's charger when I'm out racing, but I leave mine right about 2C. The other reason I do that is because I'm always plugged into someone else's generator, and I don't want to suck up all of their fuel. I don't know what the fuel consumption difference is on a generator if you're charging at, say, 2C versus like 5C. And keep in mind, like at the Night Spot, if you've seen the race vlogs, we do usually have 2 generators there. Sometimes we'll only have 1, or sometimes we'll have 3, but usually it's 2. And so you'll have 4 to 5 people plugged into each one charging at the same time. So I don't always want to overload them, you know. Papa says that I usually get mine in the next 2 days. How long is it okay to leave batteries fully charged? Days or weeks? I think the sooner that you can get them to storage charge, the better. I don't think 2 or 3 days is going to do too much damage. If it gets to be the third day and I can already tell like it's going to be rain and I'm just not going to get out and fly those packs, I go ahead and put them all at storage charge. And I have, since I do have the dual HOTAs and I have 5 ports to charge altogether, I can just do that over time. Now I have all the charging, my setup in the garage, on top of a metal toolbox, just in case anything ever goes wrong. But it's right outside of the area that my wife works from home. So I got to kind of pay attention, because if they all start beeping that they're done charging at the same time, she'll probably throw a shoe at me or something. Not really, but she'll get mad. Titan says he always keeps them in the same room. Yes, the safest way to charge any lipos is to constantly keep an eye on them. That's the best practice. One of the things that you can also do, if you did want to charge it in the garage, is get one of these. This is the YiCam. It is basically like a knockoff of the Nest security camera. I have a Nest security camera and I have a couple of these, and they're basically the same thing. These are like $20 on the right day. So you can set it up in the garage, it connects to your Wi-Fi, then you can monitor it from the couch or whatever, and always keep an eye on those lipos. I also use these to watch my 3D printers or my smoker when I'm cooking a nice pork butt or a brisket. That's how you get the best brisket temperatures. Now, while you want your brisket to heat up to a nice 201 degrees to get that pull apart, the pulled pork as well, to get that soft meat, you don't ever want your lipos getting that hot. So keep an eye on them with something like this, or do it next to you. If you are going to charge it, bring it inside your house. Then make sure you do it in like a ammo can or some other kind of metal thing to be able to hold it. Beep Tube is here. Multiple independent channels and redundant charge is the best way. I totally agree. Once you start flying a lot, when you have like $700 into your goggles, when you have multiple quads that are worth $300 to $500 each, when you got a GoPro that's $400, but you don't want to spend that extra $120 to get an extra good charger, what are you guys doing? Invest in the chargers, invest in the lipos. Don't go home after 5 packs. You know how long it takes me to get ready? Does anybody else have this deal when you're getting ready to go fly and you just want to get everything packed, but you got to quadruple check everything because you want to make sure you don't forget anything. You got to make sure you got your tools. You got your spares, you got your spare straps, your spare lipos, your spare props, your spare prop nuts. You got to make sure you take the TS100 off of the bench, put it in there with a little bit of solder. Remember, Kester's is the besters when it comes to your solder. You got to make sure and pack all that stuff because you don't want to be stuck out in the field because of some little cut wire that you could have fixed if you only would have had your iron with you. And by the time you do all that, you go to the spot, you drive across town an hour away after you spent 2 hours packing, agonizing, making sure you didn't forget any piece of your flight gear. Then after you get there, you realize you forgot your lunch, but at least, heaven forbid, you didn't forget your props. Only to be able to fly 5 packs because that's all the batteries you have? No. Invest in more. Let's review the poll results for anybody that's come into the chat. We had the poll this week that was how many packs do you fly per session? And let's review the poll results once again. 1 to 3, those are rookie numbers. You got to pump those numbers up. 15% of you guys are in this range. You need to invest in some more lipos. If you have already invested in a better drone, a better set of goggles, a better radio, now it's lipo time. Get those numbers up, guys. 4 to 6 of you guys, which is a little bit better, 41%. This is the largest category. Too many of you guys are there. You need to bump those numbers up. You got to remember, once you have all of your investment in this hobby, the limiting factor is no longer fixing time on the bench. The limiting factor is no longer the cost to keep flying. The limiting factor is you. It's your time. It's your stick time. And stop robbing yourself of that stick time by not having enough packs. 7 to 10 of you guys, much better, 30%. That is a respectable range. You get 10 packs, you can get some decent stick time. You can last yourself an hour or 2 hours, depending on how hard you're really punching it. 11 to 20, this is the range that I'm typically in. 9% though, only 9%, and 21 plus, people that have field charging access of some sort or just a crap ton of packs, only 4% of those guys. Those are the FPV elite, the FPV rich. Those are the FPV 1%, but it's actually 4%. The people that have 21 or more packs, 4%. So let's catch up on the comments a little bit more. Better a shoe than a bottle. Yeah, that's funny, Jeff. Dude, can you watch that from your phone and your computer? Yes, the YiCam. I'll put a link in the description after the stream is over. These things are so handy. They're in the FPV sales alerts group. Every once in a while, they'll go on sale for like 17 bucks, but most of the time, they're still only 20 bucks. It's super useful. I move these all around the house, like I said, to monitor my 3D printers, to monitor my Lipo charging, or to monitor my brisket smoking. I've been smoking since I was 2. Meats, I mean, guys, meats. Yes, Mike, I'm going to put the link in there. BeepTube. Let's catch up on some more comments, guys. Spares, I only have 2 quads. Well, you need more quads too. But first, get more Lipos. I'll pack all that up and get rained out. Oh, that's the worst. Living in Washington, I can't imagine. In Texas, we don't get that much rain, so we can fly year-round because the weather here is not that up or down. Dan says he keeps props in the car. That's a good plan, Dan, except if you live in a climate where it gets well over 100 degrees, you might end up with some gummy or melted props on occasion. I think I have had that happen to me, so I tried to remember not to keep 2. Maybe I'll keep like 1 spare set in there. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Randy says he just dropped $200 on some tattoo R-lines today. Nice. Where did you find those? If they're V4s, I want to know. I've been trying to get my hands on some. Dan says I have a timer 2 sets to the total R time, about 20 hours on my first 5-inch so far. Nice, nice. Smoking these meats, BeepTube says yes, yes, yes. So what is the limiting factor for you guys from getting more stick time? And when you go out and fly, I think what the next poll might be is how long do you actually stay for? How long in a week do you get? Now, is the limiting factor the fact that you're just too busy with work? Is it you're too busy with chores? Or is it that you have hobbies that are on a higher priority list? Is it that your wife wants you to sit there and watch Handmaid's Tale with her? You got to put that time in too if you want to get out to the field. Make no mistake, guys. But what's the limiting factor? Is it your gear or is it your time in general, time management? Go ahead and if you're working from home, mow the lawn during your lunch break so on the weekends you can get out and rip. Pro tip. Randy says, straight out Jen's Ace and know that the V3, V4 sold out. Yeah, the V3 are really, really good. But I got some notes from some of my crew who were just at the Mayhem race, and they were reporting that the V3 performed really, really well, but the V4 seemed to take abuse a little bit harder. The type of abuse they were putting on those at the Mayhem race. Shout out to my guys in the Don't Mess with Texas Mayhem race team. They ended up getting 6th place. Was it 6th place or 5th place? So still very respectable. They had Lamone, they had Don P, they had NM Grower, Matt Max, Alex Vanover, Captain Vanover was on that team. But the other teams, I think Velocidrone team won. Those guys are just pure robots. So that was a cool weekend watching those. Jeff says our RDQ relabeled GNB. I've heard that. I can't confirm. I don't really know for sure. Okay. Smalls is here. He's ordering 2 more of those 6S 3300s. Are you going to use that for field charging, or are you going to fly like some gigantic 7-inch with that? I'm curious. John says the E-Charge is packs and fly 5 and never fly the last pack. Superstitious of you, John, but I can respect that. You never want to fly the last pack. But if I was going to do that, I would probably get 11 packs and fly 10. Titan FPV says that 4S 850s are sold out everywhere, all brands. Yeah, I'm really liking the 4S 1050 size, though. I find that flying that, especially on these new ultralights, I like the little bit more juice that you can get out of a 1050. Of course, those are sold out right now, too. But especially on these new generation 4-inch and 5-inch that are ultra light, having that little bit of extra battery capacity is really nice, because these new age powerful motors, the new 4-inch 3-blade props, the new 5-inch ultralight props can easily handle that extra weight. And so I like 1050 a little bit more to get a little bit more flight time. Mike says the main thing that's killing him is his skills. No. He says the main thing that kills stick time is the fact that they're banning drones from the local field. They saw me about to arm the 2.5-inch Beetle and told me to leave. Oh man, was that an AMA field? What kind of field was that? Was that a school? Was it just a regular field? Hobby Grade says he has too many wrecked batteries and I really need to take them to a solid waste disposal center. Yeah, I'm going to do that too. Maybe I'll make a video about taking them up to Lowe's and throwing them all in there. And I'm just going to ask them, like, are you sure it's okay to do this? I've never done it before, but I have accumulated probably 15 dead packs that I need to do that with. Smalls said he's flying that 3300 6S pack on a Chimera 7-inch. Nice. Hobby Grade says I fly about 20 batteries, 7 4S, 6 1S, 7 2S. Yeah, see, you spread it around the different sizes. That way you can always fly all your different size quads like I have back here. And that really allows you the diversity of getting stick time on different stuff. And that way you can invest in the different sizes and always have a pack ready to fly when a new drone comes out. Nothing is worse than getting a new quad like this little Cine 8 thing that I have I'm reviewing right now and not having a battery that goes with that size quad. So that's why I just have all types of batteries from 1S, 2S, 3S, 4S. I really don't have too many 5S. I only have like 2 and I don't ever fly them. But I have them just in case. Let's catch up on some more comments. Corey Man says that I just bring a Whoop battery and claim this is my last pack. Ha ha! I like that, Corey Man. That's hilarious. Titan FPV says that Pyro makes a 4S 1100. I may have to try that one out. I think I've seen a similar GMB over on FPV Cycle. RC Ritter says that the 3S 1100 with the Recon 5-inch, that's a nice idea. I bet that you can really get some nice cruising with that. Greg says, depending on how many quads you have. Christopher Queen says, any input on storing lipos in an insulated container like the Bat Safe outside, would hot weather kill them? I always store lipos in my garage. I keep them in these lipo fireproof bags on top of a metal toolbox. So I have dual layers of protection there. That metal toolbox sits on a stack of bricks. So I have 3 layers of protection there. I don't know if I would store it outside. It really depends on what kind of climate. Here in Texas in the summer, it's not uncommon for us to have 30 days or more where it's over 100 degrees. So I would not do that here. I also would definitely not store them in the car during a hot day. But if you live somewhere up north where it only gets 80 degrees, then yeah, it's probably not that bad. Mike says he was at an AMA field where he got kicked out. The Jerks, I haven't abused that place either. I've been pretty good there. Yeah, it's just a shame that the AMA guys just can't embrace the FPV guys. I don't know what it is about the fact that they just won't let people fly there like that. I mean, it's really a shame, especially the links that we go in the FPV community to always make sure everybody feels included. At our racing events, at our fun flies, if I go out and freestyle, we've had young people come drive across town to meet up with us. And when they get there, they may only have like a tiny whoop. There was one racer that showed up one day with an Emax Tiny Hawk, but our race director found a way to get him on the course. Anyway, we want you to experience it. We want you to try it out. We had a group at this weekend's racing. We were just doing a fun fly because a lot of our guys were in Mayhem. We had 5 kids walk up. This group of 5 boys, they looked like they're about 9 or 10 years old, and they were just sitting off to the side like, oh man, like really just checking out the racing action going on. I always keep 2 field monitors in my racing kit. And so I pulled both of them out, walked over to them, answered a couple of questions, handed them the field monitors and said, watch us fly for as long as you want. And they sat there for 45 minutes or an hour just taking it in. And, like that's the kind of ambassador to FPV that we need more of, not excluding people. If somebody showed up with a wing, we would find a way to let them fly. Like, it doesn't matter. And the AMA guys that are nasty to FPV guys are just absolute jerks. So shame on you guys. We're all nerds. There should be no nerd class system like that. Well, it's just completely ridiculous. Okay, sorry, rant over. All right, let's catch up on some more comments. Titan says he always has multiple quads that run the same size packs. Yeah, that's always a good way to do it. That way, if you break one, you got your backup quad. You can finish your packs before you go home. Tinker Tweak loves the Talent NFGs. Heard they have R-line chemistry. Yeah, I've heard like lots of different rumors about who makes those Talent packs. I'm not really sure who does, to be honest, but they do seem pretty good. Jeff likes the 525 race day quads more than the China Hobby line. Why? You know what? China Hobby line is a couple of things, and the 3 things that China Hobby line always is 1, they're cheap. 2, they're pretty good. But 3, they're fat and heavy. They're always a little bigger than other packs. They're always a little heavier than other packs. And so, you can't have good, small, and cheap. Like, you got to pick 2, right? If you want good and small, you're going to have to go expensive and get the Tattoo R line. So you save that money, but you sacrifice a little bit of weight with going with China Hobby line. But it's perfectly fine. As you can see, I have plenty of those. I also have some of these Ovonics. These are not too bad. They're, kind of on the par of China Hobby line. You just got to snag whatever you can get on sale whenever you can get it. Papa says you should make a video on your battery setup and how you should have the proper way to charge it. Show us the bricks. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I'm actually working on a battery roundup. That's why I wanted to ask this question, and I'm just going to do a 2021 version of the batteries that I use, an unscientific test methodology of just like all the packs that all the racing people are using. I'll show you guys my charging setup. It's probably not the best, but yeah, I do keep it on bricks. It's not like I bought bricks specifically for this. When my house was being built, they had some leftover material. It stayed in the garage, and so that's what I charge on top of. Mike said the AMA guy said the reason was because the local houses in the area don't want drones spying on them. I told him I agree, but the camera drone guys have gotten us in trouble being looky-loos. So what are these AMA guys flying? They don't have cameras on their crafts? What a bunch of noobs. Carbon Cage says, what did I miss? Hey, I just got here. What rant did I miss? We were ranting about the AMA guys not being friendly to FPV guys, and it's just a shame. We should all be sharing the skies. The average person is not going to see any differentiation between me flying a quad, a camera drone flying a Mavic, AMA guy flying an RC model plane crafted out of balsa wood. It's all the same toy things flying around. So why they feel the need to make the distinction on us is really disappointing, but unfortunately it does happen. If you're ever in the Houston area, come meet up with us. We welcome anybody. I don't care what craft you show up with. We will find a way to get you in the air. We had a guy show up one time with a beast class, and we didn't think it was a good idea to have him actually fly on the track, but we all took a minute to stop flying to let him fly his beast class on the field and just kind of show us what it was about. And so we're never going to send somebody home without letting them fly, at least something. So, that's the difference between FPV people and AMA people. Cartman Cage says he uses Duracell all day. Yeah, that's true. But I'm all about that Energizer, homie. No, I'm just kidding. Dan says a neighbor called the landlord saying that I was spying on them in their hot tub. People are just paranoid whenever they hear. He didn't even know that they had a hot tub. Yeah, and it's like you can't really see somebody that clearly. I think people don't really realize the type of camera technology that we're working with. What do you think about the T-Motor FT5, if you've heard anything? I have one sitting over there. I have a review on it on the channel. It looks like a nice frame. It has the 3-piece deal where the top plate is split into 3 pieces. That's pretty interesting. I don't know if that's going to make it overall weaker. The one thing that I didn't really love about it was that because of that 3-piece top plate design, it required these 2 very special U-bracket shaped standoff things. And if you were to ever lose or break those, I don't know where you could ever possibly get another one. Most other frames use just traditional standoffs. And I guess you could say the same about certain frames, like maybe Armatan uses custom hardware in the front or back, but you can buy those. With the motor manufacturers that make frames, sometimes it gets a little bit hard to find spares. And so just keep that in mind. But other than that, it looked really nice. It was very similar size and proportions to the Apex that I've also had on the channel. Carver K says, Dan, everyone who flies is a pervert. Do you know what is the standard size of Beast class? Okay, so Beast class versus X class. I did a video on this with Neil, who is the owner of Catalyst Machine Works, and basically, Beast class is like a smaller size setup, a smaller size weight, but it still spins a 13-inch prop. So X class says that the frame has to be a certain size. It has to be a certain prop size. So the spec currently that defines X class is based on the frame size. But what Neil's saying is we shouldn't be basing it on the frame size. We should be basing it on the prop size the same way that we do with our 5-inch racers. You can build a quad that's any size, run 5-inch props on it, and pull it out on the race course. So he's saying the same thing should apply to these other ones. So Beast class is essentially the same motors, the same props, just on a slightly smaller frame. So it's a bit lighter, a bit more maneuverable. But it should have pretty much the same performance, and it should still be very easy to see from the air, which is kind of like the same. One of the main things behind X class was that it could be easy for spectators to be able to see it. So Papa says, I finally found a good use for my $750 DJI Smart Controller. Let the girlfriend or whoever shows up look at me flying. I totally agree. I wish I could afford one of those to allow people to spectate. But the thing that is kind of a bummer is it still has to be tethered to your goggles, which that's a pain. I really love those little analog field monitors because you can just turn it on, set it to the channel, hand it to people. I really love that. And I was disappointed when I did that this weekend, when I handed that group of boys the 2 field monitors I had with me. I set it to 2 different channels of people that were flying so that they could watch. It was a little bit sad that I couldn't hand them something to watch me fly because I was flying the DJI system. I remember I raced on that DJI system, and that is one of the downsides to this day. We thought the V2 goggle was going to address that. It turns out it does not. So there's still no easy way to be able to do that. Yeah, Mike said he's debated on dropping $750 on that smart controller too. I just don't know if it's a smart investment, but I mean, there's no other way to do it. And I really do miss that ability. That's probably one of my biggest complaints about flying primarily DJI FPV these days is that you can't hand it to somebody very easily. So Jeff says 13-inch props. Holy crap. Yeah, that thing was a beast. I ran a speed gun on that thing that day in my video. If you go check out Catalyst Machine Works Beast Class, Johnny 5, you'll find it. I ran a speed gun on it. It got up to like 130 something miles an hour. And I don't think I was even at the fastest point, but like to be safe, I was hiding behind like this giant metal sign. So, just, safety first, guys, at all times. That thing was frighteningly fast. It's so much faster than a 5-inch quad. You don't really realize that. If you've ever flown a 7-inch and you've ever noted like how much faster a 7-inch cruises than a 5-inch, then you just extrapolate that even further to figure out how much faster a 13-inch quad is going to fly. So we got about 10 minutes left. If anybody has any questions, put them down in the comments below. We'll do a little bit of Q&A for a few minutes. Now, for those of you that are not watching this live, you're watching this after the fact, thanks for watching this and covering the discussion. Leave me in the comments what kind of charging setup you have, if you have field charging available or not. And then what I want you guys to start doing at the end of the streams in the comments, not in the live stream comments, but in the actual comments for the video, put a suggestion for this weekend's poll. And we're going to have you guys start to drive these community discussions. I've been coming up with some things. So now after the last 3 polls, we have a little bit of data assembled. We now know that the majority of people are flying 5-inch. That's no mysterious point, but the vast majority of people are flying in parks or fields, and the vast majority of people have 4 to 6 batteries. So the average pilot population consists of people that fly 5-inch in parks for 4 to 6 packs, and we're going to keep gathering more and more data, assembling it so that we can have a full 360-degree holistic picture of what the FPV community is like. And we're going to see where we can drive that community to be able to level everyone's skill up. What we did in our community to level everyone's skills up is we started flying more. We started flying in a different way that we could get more packs in. On a traditional race day where everybody's ranked, where we're doing it for prizes, you would often get 5 regular packs and 5 practice packs. That's only 10 packs. I'd spend all day there. And so sometimes I would avoid races just because I wanted to practice more. We shifted that formula. Now 90% of our racing is now, let me text Bubba. 90% of our racing, guys, now is fun fly format. In a fun fly format, yes, we have the timing system. Yes, we keep track. Yes, we do heats, but we just keep going over and over and over and over. We don't do brackets. We just keep flying over and over and over and over. So on a long full day, you can get 30 packs, 40 packs in a day if we have field charging available, which we always do. And that helped the whole community get better. We saw 2 of our guys get into the top 20 on the global leaderboards because of that formula. So whether you're racing, whether you're freestyling, whether you're flying with your homeboys or flying by yourself, the best way to get better, it's proven, is to maximize the packs. So yeah, let's catch up in these comments now. Greg's building a 7-inch now. Nice. Jeff is going to hide in the corner and fly the Tiny Hawk 2 freestyle. Yeah, that's a good one. I do like that. Carbon Cage says, what's the news on the Gecko 5-inch? There is a little bit of news. I don't know if I'm actually at liberty to speak about it, but the 3-inch and 4-inch Gecko, or not Gecko, the 3-inch and 4-inch Tadpole HD versions are going to be coming to market very, very soon. They're in manufacturing now, so stay tuned for those. As for a 5-inch Gecko, I am very curious about that. I don't know if it's 100% going to happen, but I'm going to keep pushing for that. So thanks for asking. Small says you need to bring your 7-inch out to the beach. Yeah, I have a 7-inch. It's back there. It's a FR7. It's got the brand new Rush Solo Tank VTX that goes up to like 1,000,000 milliwatts of broadcasting power, but I still don't feel comfortable really long ranging it. I know it should go farther than my DJI system, but I guess I'm just not used to the analog breakup anymore. And as soon as it starts to break up, I get paranoid. So I think I would rather trust DJI. I still am also a little reluctant to fly over water. I guess just after losing my first quad to water, I can't do it, guys. I can't do it. I'm just too frightened of flying over water. You know, even in Zorro's last video, he was flying the new diatone prototype or whatever they sent him, and it went bloop into the drink, never to be seen again. I don't want to do that. I'm too scared of that. Mike says, I love the practice 399 rig that Nurk had on his video, 7-inch quad that flies 12S. Yeah, that is crazy. I mean, I can't even imagine where, like, the kind of space you would need to fly something that can go that fast. I mean, that's crazy. Nitro Nut says parallel charging setups. I don't parallel charge. I like to use the Hota D6 Pro charger, and I got 2 of them. If you can dual wield Hotas and charge 4 packs at a time, it should be relatively equivalent to parallel charging and much less risk of messing up any of your packs, having a bad pack infect and ruin other packs, and a much less risk of any fire. Thanks, John. You guilted me into buying $300 worth of new batteries. Great video. Thanks, Jared. Yeah, you know, it's not like I'm saying everybody needs to go out and spend money, but if you do an inventory of everything you've spent, and if you have spent $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000, and the bottleneck is your batteries, I don't know why. I have that same mental block. For some reason, I have no problems buying a new bind and fly for $300. For some reason, I have no problems buying a set of those badass new premium iFlight motors, or the new Zings, or the new, you know, FPV Cycle motors. I got no problem spending $150 on a Vista. But when it comes to buying 10 new batteries, it's like, oh, Lord, like, why? And it's like, that's your flight time, though. That's the bottleneck. You know, before you buy a 5th quad, maybe you should buy, you know, your 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th packs so that you can actually fly. If you actually have a full day to fly on Saturday and you can only fly 5 or 6 packs, like, that's the biggest waste. It's so hard to get better at that. So I'm testing out some potential merch ideas. I got some of these Johnny 5 stickers made. I'm thinking of trying to redesign my logo. I'm trying to pressure Zorro into designing me a logo. I've been trying to ask him to do that for me for like the past 3 years. He said maybe he'll do it, so I'm crossing my fingers. But for this, I have now one of our local talented artists, Jesus, made this for me. I'm thinking of putting on a shirt, but maybe I might want to go away from the actual character design because it is close to a certain character that I won't mention right now. So that is coming up very soon. How many quads on average? How many quads do I have, Greg? I don't know. I mean, I wish I had less than 10, but I probably have more than 20. I have sold at least 10 quads this year. I don't have an unending, never-ending budget for this channel. I have a limited budget. And so you guys watching the streams, liking the videos, watching the videos, clicking the links really does help me to do more. But in order to get the new stuff in, I got to sell the old stuff. I'd like to get large enough to where I can keep more of the stuff so that when I do the shootouts, I actually have everything available. I am doing a big Cinewhoop shootout right now, so that's coming very soon. I'm going to have 5 different Cinewhoops. I'm going to have the Squirt, the ProTech 35, the Cinexplore, the iFlight C85, and I'm hopefully going to finish up this Race Whoop build that I'm working on right now. That's going to be pretty cool as well. Let's see. Let's answer just a couple of Jay Cho is here. Spend it. Johnny Crash is here. RC Ritter. Let's see. Carbon Cage lost the DJI in the river. Should have left it there. By the way, the Moongo is in stock at Newbie Drone. Yes, I had that in the FPV sales alerts group today that the Moongo just hit over there. So be sure to check that out. I do want to check that one out. The golden rule is never add up what you spend. Yeah, I keep spreadsheets of everything because I'm a data analytics nerd. So, but there are some things I don't tally up. Mike says he's working on a race whoop as we speak. Joe Cruppy is here. What's going on? Yeah, let me see if I can show this to you. Here is the race whoop. It's still in pieces. This thing is a little, I got the motors on. I got everything wired up. I just have to finish programming Betaflight and checking the motor directions, and it'll be ready to fly. Here's a little camera mount that I printed right here. The only thing that's tough about this is that the ducts actually fit together, so you can't work on it easily unless you take like the whole thing apart, unless there's something I'm missing. So if you know a better way to work on this race whoop, then let me know. Hopefully I'll finish that in the next couple of days. The race whoop, that's the 3-inch version. I'm doing 3-inch. I'm comparing a lot of 3-inch Cinewhoops. The only one that's not 3-inch is this ProTech 35 that I got right here. This thing is 3.5-inch, and boy, the power this thing has, the larger motors and the larger prop size and the guard, not duct, really make this a pleasure to fly. There's a lot more control than your traditional Cinewhoop right there. So I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for joining. We had quite a big number in the chat today. I think this is one of the highest chats I've ever had. We had over 50 of you guys for a while. So really appreciate you guys voting and participating. Remember, there will be a poll every Saturday that will cover the topic that we're going to be talking about on the live stream. So be sure and vote in the poll, make any comments, and then tune in Tuesdays at 7:30 Central Standard Time for the actual discussion and live stream itself. And remember, bring me any of your questions. Bring me your questions about your quads. Bring me your questions about life. If you need to know something, if you have a problem, Uncle John will give you the answer. Thank you guys. Oh man, Bleak. Oh, you're just getting out from work. It'll replay in just a second, man. They're never long enough. I know. I'm working on the voice. I asked Barbwell the other day on his live stream, how do you talk for like 3 hours in a row? Because at the end of an hour, my voice is already starting to go out. So maybe I'll strengthen up that voice, guys, so that I can talk longer in the future. But I'll try to cut it at about this. Man, thanks, Mike. I really appreciate the feedback. Danny R just missed it. Oh, man. Thank you guys, all of you guys, for tuning in. If you're watching this after the stream has already broadcast, or you guys go into the comments and leave what you think the next poll should be. I'm gathering topics from yous. I'm going to let the community drive these discussions. And so that way we'll all learn up. We'll level our skill up. We'll level our knowledge up. And we'll level our rants up, ranting about the AMA field guys who are kicking out our poor FPV brothers. That's a damn shame. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning into the Johnny 5 channel, the show where John is always right. And if you agree with him, you can be right too. Thanks, guys.